All right, guys. So our quick penultimate topic, I'm gonna cover this really quick, and then we're gonna get into our final topic, which is our Bad Batch episode 5, kind of spoiler discussion and review. But this episode here, or this topic here rather, is just gonna be it's just worthy of note that interestingly enough, I gave my review of Army of the Dead. John and I talked about it last week, I believe, when it came out. And surprisingly, here, I say surprisingly because I didn't think the movie was really all that good. I didn't think it was bad. I just think it should have probably shaved about 45 minutes off and then just really tighten up the plot because they left a lot of things, I don't know, unexplained. But if you want to go see my Army of the Dead review, it's up on the channel, so you can go check that out. But it's worth noting rather quickly before we hop into our Bad Batch review here that Army of the Dead is quickly making its way to the top of the like most watched shows or movies on Netflix for as far as the Netflix original series go. So as of right now, it is tied for I believe 10th place. And it has 72 million people have watched this film, which I mean, good on them, good for Zack Snyder there. But here's the list here. So it's tied for The Midnight Sky, which I'm not even familiar with that. But then I find this list to be the more surprising thing over anything because I've notoriously said, and it's like notoriously known that like most of the time Netflix original movies are pretty much garbage. Like in all honesty, like they're just not good movies. They have phenomenal original television. Like all the Marvel series are great, and you had House of Cards to kind of shoot the whole thing off, but Stranger Things. But they've always made fantastic television. But their original movies have never they've never really been all that great. When a Netflix original film comes out, no one is, like, dying to see it, like because they come out with so many of them too, and they don't market them, so it's kinda like, I they just they're not peak cinema most of the time. Not that they're all terrible, but interestingly enough, this list kinda blew my mind here with Extraction has had 99 million views, which again, like I said, that movie's not all that good. It had some phenomenal, like, action scenes, like, it was great. I think, Chris Hemsworth was great in the movie and whatnot, but the movie overall wasn't all that good. Bird Box, I thought was okay. It wasn't it was an odd movie, but it wasn't bad. Like, Sandra Bullock was great in it. Spencer Confidential is their 3rd most watched movie. Six Underground, the 4th. Like, that movie was terrible. Had some cool scenes in it, but it was a terrible movie. Murder Mystery, dude, that like, how so many people watching that movie? That movie wasn't very good. That's the one with Adam Sandler and, what was it, Jennifer Aniston, I think, in it with him? I can't remember, but it wasn't very good, and Luke Evans made an appearance, so if I'm thinking of the correct movie, then that's it. And then Old Guard number 6, I think Old Guard's the best movie on this list, like, and it's the 6th most watched. That one's, like, in a deserved place. Enola Holmes was okay. Like, I say Old Guard and Enola Holmes are probably the 2 best on this list in general, but then Project Power, that movie was a phenomenal disappointment. Like, that movie wasn't good at all. And then it had some cool visuals, cool concept. Execution was meh. But then again, Midnight Sky, never even heard of it, and Army of the Dead. And it's Army of the Dead just keeps going up and up. So I'm kind of like, Rick, you haven't even seen you probably haven't seen any of the movies on this list, have you?
I'll be real. I have no idea what all 9 of those are.
That's what I'm saying.
Outside of Army of the Dead. But
And you wouldn't because they don't market their shit. Like,
well, I know like Bird Box is like Sandra Bullock, blindfolds and whatnot. But like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've just found more than Army of the Dead having this much success because, like, good on them. I'm glad in some way. I'm glad this actually paid off for both Netflix and Zack Snyder because after all the shit he's gone through with like the DCU on his part, he needed a win, man. I mean,
Right.
because he had his like the tragedy with his daughter, then all this shit with like Justice League, and then like they let him finally finish his version of Justice League, and it was much better than what we got out of the theatrical version. Um, and then Netflix though, they put like before this movie was even released, they announced that they were making a prequel movie to this Army of the Dead, and then they were also making an anime series based on it as well. And then now there's like ever since that, like since the movie's actually been released, they've announced that they're making another prequel movie about this, and it's gonna be focusing on the safecracker character, and it's gonna be like a kind of like, I don't know, like an origin story or something, just on the I think his name was Diedrich, but it's literally they're making a prequel of just that one character. So, I'm interested to see where they're gonna go with this world, because I think one either the prequel movie or the anime series is going to dive into, like, the origin of the outbreak, if you will,
Yeah.
because I didn't really like the movie overall because it was all over the place, and they, like, introduced a lot of concepts that they didn't that you never see them again. It's the rain, it, like, hits the zombies, and then they wake up, these dead zombies, and they mention, like, "Yeah, you should see them in the rain," like, they all come back to and they never show that again. They have this offhand comment about this thing that, like, rain makes these dead zombies reanimate, and you never see it. It made no sense. So I
Right.
hope that with some of these obviously probably not with the Diedrich, Safe Cracker, prequel, they're probably I mean, that's probably just gonna be like a character study kinda thing, I would imagine. But then I hope that, like, the anime and then this other prequel actually at least allows them to expand on the things I liked in the movie, but they didn't explain, like, how the zombies got there because 'cause they're supposed to be, like, at least it's a rumor that there's, like, an alien connection to it because there's something that happened, like, Area 51 wise at the beginning so, like, I'm curious about that. And then, like, the baby one, like, I mean, it's like, there's all these cool concepts and, like, the alpha zombies and, like, like, I wanna see more, and I just hope that I think I mentioned this on the official review, like, I really hope that these other properties come out, this anime series and these 2 prequels, and then Zack can come back and make, like, a follow-up to Army of the Dead, and, like, now that we have all this other lore hopefully flushed out, he can focus on making just, like, one hell of a good movie,
Right.
because all the zombie stuff in it worked, like, the zombie fight scenes and all that shit was cool. It was just the story, and I think a big part of it was, like, it was 2.5 hours long. They tried to introduce all these things, but they couldn't expound upon them at all because it was already 2.5 hours long. So, I don't know. I find this list, though, a part of this article, probably the most shocking thing, like, seeing that, like, for the most part, none of these movies are, like, Oscar-winning movies by any
No.
means. Most of them are like, seriously, there's only 2 on this list I would consider even, like, good. Granted, I haven't watched Spencer Confidential, I've never even heard of The Midnight Sky, but I've watched every other movie on this list, and Old Guard and Enola Holmes are the only ones that I was like, "That was a pretty good movie. It was pretty good."
Right.
The rest of them I had problems with in some capacity, so Bird Box was okay, I guess, too. It wasn't absolutely terrible, but nevertheless, guys, the question is, what do you think about Army of the Dead being just quickly rising the list of most watched movies on Netflix original movies, that is. So right now it's at 72 million views. So do you think it's going to go any higher on the list? Do you think it's even deserved to be on this list? Granted, it's not real. I don't even know if you could say it's in good company though, because like I said, like a lot of these movies, just like unfortunately, they just weren't really all that good. I hope Netflix at some point in time will start having their movies be of the quality of their television series. That's really what I'm hoping for. So, well, guys, whatever you think, let us know in the comment section below.